Game started.
Elfora said, "Would this count as a serious-ish game?" I wouldn't call it serious-ish. I think
Yeah.
so. The goal here is just to talk about the game, right?
Yeah.
I've been worried that on the channel we haven't actually been doing enough beginner stuff, so I want to focus on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, one thing I always struggle with is like I do like basic opening stuff. Also, no, generally it's better to approach before you even close your own corner, right?
I think those are usually considered about even. Um,
Even
yeah, or at least I don't think you're going to lose a game because you did one over the other.
yeah, that's a fair point.
um,
I lose games because I don't read, and then just give up. I don't know if
yes.
you saw the game I played yesterday. It was slightly embarrassing, also.
So cool. So just to talk about real quick where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. So and like I forget to go back to the basics sometimes. Like on Tuesday, I did that. I mentioned corner side center, and a few people in chat were like, "Oh wow, very interesting." Right? I forget. Obviously we've talked about that a few times, but we get new people cycling through, right? So just
Mm.
to illustrate, right? We're starting this game, and we started by sort of staking out a presence in the corners. I played 4/4s, which are sort of flexible. Sometimes they do actually take the corner, but sometimes they'll share the corner or they'll get influence a little bit outside of the corner. Um, and so black also took a 4/4 and a 3/4. The 3/4 is more territorial. And then black took a Shamari, this knight's move around the corner here. That's a really good way to take a corner. With just 2 stones, you basically take the whole corner. Very, very efficient.
Mm.
Okay, so then you have this 4/4. So I did a knight's move approach, very standard. You did a knight's move retreat, very standard. I'll do the simplest one. This is like an old Joseki, but I mean these days it's considered old, but I think it's good for
I
beginners to know.
played a game with this. I forget what. It's the shoulder hit, right? It's C17. That's why I usually instincts, but then also just jump out. I have no idea.
Yeah, and so just to sort of talk about like the purpose of the moves, right? So when I approach your corner, I'm just saying, the corner is open, and I want to either have some side or the corner or both. And so when you run away with the knight's move, you're saying, I don't want to get stuck into the corner. I want some influence on the outside, and I can still take the corner if I want it.
Mhm.
So then when white goes in with the knight's move, now I'm saying I'm sort of making a base, making my stones strong, and I'm threatening to come in and take the corner. So if you want to
Right.
keep the corner, yeah, C17
Right.
is a good way to do it. Um, you don't have to. You could Tanuki.
You beat Tanuki here, yeah. I think I'll be a bit more. Yeah, something
Oh,
interesting.
okay, nice. And so, so we would call this like a side extension.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I always play it just like one in from the start point in the third line, but is there any reason why I should be playing it like further to one side or the other, or is that just a safe move?
I think that's pretty safe. You can start finding some excuses to play it differently if you want. Um,
Mm.
let's say you thought later you might play R6, and then maybe we play the Joseki where I do R5, and then you stand, and then I do O4. If that
Mm.
happened, your R10 would feel really nicely spaced, whereas if you had played R9 instead of R10, then it would feel a little crowded. But you could have, I don't know. There's pros and cons, but it's fine.
Yeah,
I think the
this is all just
important,
like half point stuff. It doesn't matter when you're a 20Q.
yeah. The important thing is you've got basically a wall with your Shamari, right? Your
Mm.
P17 R16, and you made an extension from that wall. That's good. So I will also make a little extension, but more of an enclosure for me.
Yeah. Huh.
Uh,
See, I never know when to time a 3/3, so I just kind of choose a point and then go with it.
yeah, sure. I'm a fan.
I've read that beginners and OGS just love the 3/3.
So it's really interesting the way that has flip flopped. So so yeah, I'm gonna use my favorite Joseki here.
I'm guessing it's the Panuki one.
Yeah, the Panuki one. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
I was quite a fan of that one because when I was just playing against bots, I actually just like mathed that one out in my head and just figured it out.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So I very often, if I'm playing too fast, I will accidentally cut here instead of fix first.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I'll take. Nice, and then I take the corner. And one thing that I've been learning, like I've sort
It's
of treated
extend
this.
again, right?
What's that?
It's to extend again, right? You leave some margin in the corner.
Yeah, so, you can. Um, but yeah, one thing I've been learning about this is like I've sort of treated this as okay, white has the corner and has thickness, but it's really dangerous to consider this as thickness because it has vulnerabilities, especially
Mm.
with black going C2. So you gotta be careful with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of nice because you sort of get to force my hand. So yeah, I guess I will go ahead and play B2 and take the corner that I wanted. But then I have
Mm-hmm.
to worry a little bit more about you playing D6. It starts getting a little
Mm.
scary.
Yeah. Glad that you said that, 'cause that's actually what I was thinking of doing. Either that or just like K3, but so I feel like in this opening stage, I just kind of play moves in general areas just to kind of get a feeling for where each player wants to actually take.
Mm,
But I'm not really playing with any real intent in the opening, at least.
yeah. See, I see people play D6 fairly often there, but it's also something you could consider Tanuki from.
Mm-hmm.
So the one danger is right that you're
When
trading
you run
these.
across the
Yeah,
yeah.
you're giving me a nice hunk of territory, potential territory over here. And you're building a wall that faces sort of a
This thing.
somewhat established group that I already have. It's difficult
Yeah.
to attack C14 because I have me. I can either, C11 or I can play C17, and either way, I'm pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least that's my interpretation of it. Maybe that's wrong, but that's just how I see it.
Yeah. I'm always wary of just letting group run across like this because it always just feels wasteful.
Mm. Especially so right now you're doing what's called pushing from behind, right? So you're
Yeah.
like a stone behind, and I mean sometimes that's fine, but usually you like only do it as much as you have to. Usually you
Yeah.
don't want to.
Because this turn feels really bad, so I feel like I should do like at least once or twice more.
Hmm. I will continue. If I can turn this into territory, I will be very happy, right? This is a one, two,
Yeah.
three, four, five, sixth line territory, which is good.
I'm just gonna see. This is where I struggle because now I'll sit here for like 5 minutes. Like, okay, now what? So
Sure.
I don't want to continue fighting out this. It's just gonna end up
Yeah,
hurting
yeah.
me.
Well,
Could
um,
you like could you just throw us down at like K4 and just try and do a little invasion, or is that just
yeah, this is a tricky situation for me too. I'm not sure. Probably if you want to do something about the bottom, it's getting close to crunch time to do it.
yeah
But maybe first, I don't know. Extending from your wall also does feel nice. Maybe you can take C11 or C12 or maybe
yeah
D11, D12, and then I'll take the corner probably, or maybe
yeah?
I would jump out. I'm not sure. But
Let me try this.
Boy Wonder, you said you never know how much space is too much space.
My knowledge is what third line is when you start worrying, right? If you learn your pain, take third line territory. That's when you distress.
Yeah. Um, so I am worried. So the me I mentioned was like I could go C17 right now and settle my group, but
Mm.
I worry about black like coming on top of that group and then getting a huge moyo in the center. So I'm gonna jump out toward the center just to have
Yeah,
some potential to mess with that. If you played C17 now, it would unsettle my group, which would
yeah.
be nice, but not necessarily the biggest move. Just something to consider. Um,
See, big move for me feels like just from like F11, just kind of poking from this little
uh,
extension. Then yeah, never
mm,
sure. Or like a next move, like to
yeah,
H15.
F11
Or
is nice. I mean, it continues to put pressure on white, but um,
G15 feels right.
yeah. I was gonna say maybe something where you build the top side while attacking this group feels a little bit better. Because like usually when you have thickness like you do right there, on the 7th line, you want to
Mm-hmm.
push your opponent into that wall.
Yeah.
And that because you know that you can have a really good fighting chance there.
Now, a large knight's move here would be a bit too risky, wouldn't it? Playing G14. So those would be way too easy to cut.
G14.
Suppose to G15.
It could be okay. Sure, it's cuttable.
Why not? See what happens.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
At the worst, it'll be learning experience on it.
Yeah, exactly, right. Everything that I think of right now feels bad. Do I make a dog head? I feel like I should just settle. Settling feels reasonable.
Yeah.
But black is building a lot of strength on the top side, and actually it feels kind of small by my bottom side now. Goensente, hey, thank you for the raid. With your party of 19, what's up? What's up, Goensente nerds? I love seeing Goensente on Twitch these days. So when I started streaming a couple months ago, I think Goensente was gone, or at least had been taking a break for a while. But obviously, you had a big YouTube presence before, so it's like seeing a celebrity like Clausius. It's fun.
My instinct always respond to a shoulder here, right?
That feels a little bit heavy to me.
Yeah,
or over concentrated, I should say.
It does feel quite slow because I was thinking I'd let her extend from R10. I think maybe a little bit late to do kind of.
But I mean, it's strong. You've got a strong presence there. So now, I do feel like the turn could be big. I feel like I should either hop in to the top side somehow, and live over there. Maybe I could hop in on the right side, something like, I don't know, R12. H7 also does feel really big to me. Maybe it's not. It's hard for me sometimes to understand when that's big and when it's not. Hey, what's up, guy in chat? Good to see you. Yeah. Michael, we were saying that yeah, D17 was a little bit over concentrated, a little slow right now. Maybe it would be big for white to continue playing over here too.
I've been trying to focus a little bit on not just attaching the instant dice I can. I'm actually trying to relax. But here attachment feels right. Or I don't know, was that G11?
G11.
Just to kind of surround the group. Then that's just so these stones don't feel well connected, given the amount of pressure you have.
Sure. Yeah. That seems okay to me. I don't know. So with that, you're building a lot of potential in the top center, right?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Omijan. You're officially a nerd. Does anyone else hear a beep? Oh, I hope not. Is there a beep going on in the stream? I feel like I should make a table shape just because tables are nice, but it also feels like kind of an inappropriate time to make a table, so I don't know. I don't know.
If I knew what a table shape was, I'd be able to respond, but...
So if I played D12, that would be a table with a D12, E12, and then E14, C14.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what I'm really doing with that table. It's just there as some strength that maybe I can use to poke with, but it doesn't feel real good. But let's just play it. It's fine. Yeah, this area. And you responded. Okay, so I got away with it. So yeah. I don't know that also feels a little slow to me. Making territory in the D9 area. I mean, it's not nothing, but
yeah. Not quite something either.
Yeah. And so if I wanted to be real meta, I would see that, you clearly see this as valuable territory, so I might poke in at E11 just to create a cutting point at F10 when you block. But, having said what we've said now, it might not even be big to block at E10, so I don't know. Yeah, so let's...
Yeah, I think F12 is a big point right now. Actually, I was actually thinking no matter what you're going to do, I was going to try to hit F12, but I think I panicked a little bit.
Yeah.
Or they click before you think.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on the top side right now. And so, yeah, I should probably jump in. But what to do there, I'm not sure. Maybe let's just play M17 and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the table is moving backwards. That's a good way to say it. That actually, guy, that's a good summary of like I think why it feels awkward. Um, it just when I placed it, it just like it's nice. It's just not doing much. Ooh, I don't know about attaching. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between just like M15 and the attachment. I have no idea why I would do either one because that
Um,
just feels really aggressive. And Neil was
so
say
yeah,
actually makes their so much stronger in it.
yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up, TKE? Good to see you. Right. Clacky said it right. Don't attach to a
Yeah,
weak
that's the
stone.
weak stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and of course all proverbs are,
Yeah.
subject to change. But yeah, I think this is sort of the classic attaching to a weak stone. So probably white will gain some strength from this,
hmm
and be able to settle from it. But we'll
So like
see.
what M15 would have been better then? Just like one down.
I kind of like pincering, like K17 or maybe J17, just sort of like pressuring it, but staying away
Yeah. Okay.
is kind of what I like there. Okay, well, I'll Hane.
I'm just gonna. Uh, oh, extend. No idea what to do. See, instantly I was just let's just cross cut. Yesterday when I was playing, I was just cutting every single cutting point I could see and seeing what happened, which ended up with like my opponent having like 30 captures by the end of the game. I still won somehow by 15, but
So I feel like we should just go up here. It kind of feels like if we go up, we have already Hane'd at the head of 2, and that is nice.
mm,
It's a downward Hane, but feels more active than trying to settle immediately. I guess I have to be careful though. As I
feels
would let you
yeah.
run, I'm letting you build the top right quadrant a little bit. So we have to be a little bit careful there. I feel like I should cut, but maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I cut, then I can do that. I don't know. Just feel like we should, so I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, TK, it's sort of a teaching game. It's a discussion game, we'll call it.
Yeah. Now, which direction? That's a big question. So I'm thinking I want this top right, but I also want the center. But then the center is much less. Yeah. I think that feels correct.
Yeah, a lot of times in a crosscut, Atari is not the right choice.
Really?
Yeah, so maybe you were only considering like Atari from that side or Atari from M13,
Yeah.
but you could also consider extending like
Right.
one of your stones. But we'll see.
Mm.
I'm not actually sure. I feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable actually giving like any advice in this fight. So we'll see. We'll see.
I have this habit of when I play, I just don't try to read. Like I'll do Tsumage every time I can. Like for the level I'm at, I actually have semi decent reading. I just don't try and do it during games.
Mm,
It's a really weird habit of mine.
it's interesting.
So yeah, that feels correct. I just play it and it works out or it don't. Very productive for good learning, I find. Yeah, I'll keep running.
Okay, so here's a good question. Can white capture L14 and a ladder?
14. Maybe.
I'm just gonna pause the clock so we can
Game
talk. And
paused.
we're playing fast enough anyway.
No, it'd be broken by like the G17 stone, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't work, right? We can see that
Yeah.
that just runs right into black stones. So let me
Yeah.
ask this. So another option a lot of times in these scenarios, could white capture L14 in a net? In other words, like start the ladder, but then when black runs, play a net move. Would that work?
Yes. Or no, because it would Atari the stick there, wouldn't it?
That's exactly right. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
work because you played N12. So it's kind of interesting, by playing N12, you sort of protected L14,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
nice.
I have to resume it, right?
Oh no, we can just leave it paused. I think we're playing fast enough, right? No
Yeah.
big deal.
Okay. I think I'm quite comfy running along this.
It is nice, right? Because you're making a strong structure on the right side.
Mm.
But let me ask now: could I capture L14 in a net?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now I could, right? Um, and so if I want to, I can connect basically all of my white stones, and I also get
Hmm.
kind of a free move here,
Yeah.
right? Because that this also threatens to connect my stones with N15.
And then force make any triangle, right? Or could I just? Right. I could just do what O16. I may as well just do N16, right? Or is it too slow?
I'm not sure actually what the exact right move would be. O16 seems fine to me, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it.
Um, yeah, so that kind of hunkers down that large part of the board. I think that
Hmm.
feels nice. So now I suppose I should take that stone. I'm wondering if I can like try to take it on a larger scale, but it feels scary to do it.
Mm.
Mm, maybe I should just mm, I think we'll just take it. Feels
Mm.
fine.
And so there's no. I mean, 'cause it wouldn't leave any RG if I tried to like play it out, would it? Just ignore.
Oh, right. Yeah, you don't have to run from that Atari. If you can see that it will die in a net,
Yeah.
just leave it unless you think you'll create some nice Aji by running. I don't see much value to that here. Another important thing to
No.
note is the L17 cut. So all the time we talk about that second line Atari that faces the wall, right? So
Hmm.
like if we push all of these stones up a row so that my two white stones are on the 18th line instead of the 17th line. If you try to play that cut, I could just Atari it and
Yeah.
it would be
That
dead.
by the way. Yeah.
But now that we're on the third line, can you make that cut?
Uh.
And feel free to read, but there are some rules of thumb that we can use to just look at it quickly.
Uh. My instincts say that it wouldn't live, but it would live. It would leave RG. I'd probably just because I'm reading is what N17 or not L17. You Atari upwards. I extend. You Atari from the left. And it wouldn't do much, would it?
Exactly. I would chase you on the left side, and because my
Yeah.
two white stones at MN17 are strong, they have liberties, then I could win that capture race. So
Yeah.
the cut is basically protected right now. Although I do want to say one thing, just as a manner of speaking in Go, when we say upward, we always mean toward the center of the board. I understand,
I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So you and I are
Makes
looking at the
sense now.
same board right now, right? So
Yeah.
when you say up, I understand what you mean, but very often Go is looked at on a physical board where people are looking at different directions, and so the terminology is almost always up toward Tengen and down toward
That
the edge
makes
of the board.
sense.
So
Okay.
when you say like you play L17, I play K17, you would then say so black would descend to L18,
Right.
even though for both of us that's upward. It's
Right.
it's downward in the board orientation. Yeah.
Okay. Fun little tip hit. So right now, this group at like, I guess the G14 kind of group feels weak to me. Just kind
G14.
of these. I don't know. It looks like it's very cuttable. So my instincts say I want to like reinforce it somehow. I just don't know
Well,
what
so
to
the
do in
the
this situation.
G14 stone,
Yeah.
itself kind of can go either way. It can kind of go up or it can go down, and
Hmm.
there's sort of an established group either way. And in this way, your D17 move is starting to actually kind of make a little bit more sense now. Maybe
Yeah.
it's my fault for making it make a little bit of sense, because like,
No, I planned this. This is on my
yeah,
lap.
yeah, exactly, right. So it's you're nicely established. One move you could consider. So we said you cannot cut at L17.
Yeah.
If you decided you wanted to build your group a little bit more in the top, you could start with a peep at
Yeah.
K17, right?
Yeah.
Then white fixes, and then maybe black does something else over there to make a little bit of shape. It's something to consider. I'm not saying it's
Right.
the right move.
Yeah. Or I
Um,
could just H7 because now I feel like running across gives me a lot more strength than it would have, but I'm still conceding this whole bottom half of the board to you.
sure. I feel like it's a losing trade. If you play H7 and I
Yeah.
play J7, I feel like I get more out of that than you do.
Because I'm getting at what, like most, that's what, 3 times, what, 20 points, if that?
Yeah, so like if we imagine your stones on the 11th line just magically got to continue going all the way to the white
Mm,
stone at M11, every stone that you place on the 7th line is getting you 3 points. And that's assuming you get those 11th line stones. Whereas for
yeah,
me, I'm getting 5 points, right? If
right,
if
okay.
if that territory goes all the way to the bottom, which it might not necessarily, but yeah, Clacky makes a good point. In general, as a principle, we can just observe that as pushing from behind. So
Yeah.
I would say that the bottom is quite invadable.
Yeah,
And so now might be a good time to invade. Although there's also the proverb that reducing is as big as invading.
amazing.
And another, I
Well,
think, a nice move you have right now, as I'm looking at it now, before doing that, might be M10, because I think if you play M10,
yeah,
that breaks the net, right? The net that I'm like planning on using. Does it? Let's see. M10, then here, and then if I go here and you go there. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Um,
yeah.
let's see here. And then
Mm,
let's say I don't do anything. So then if you go here, I'm down to 2 liberties. So then if I go here, if you go here, I'm down to 1 liberty. No, it doesn't break the net. Okay, so maybe that's
yeah.
not as good as I thought. It still does look nice, but maybe it's not that strong.
I was just thinking a jump, but I think it's just too passive, isn't it? Just play N9.
Oh, Michael Chris. Okay, yeah, you said it does not break the net. Yeah.
Yeah.
Broken Focus says Hane at the head of anything, full stop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Four,
yeah.
5, 6, it's what is it?
Yeah, I mean, in general, that is nice, right? You prevent it from going farther.
Divisible by 2, it's close enough.
I'm wondering if something like H17 is good here. So I'm also in kind of like a nebulous land. I'm not super sure. I like the idea of pressuring that group on the top left, though,
Yeah.
and also just sort of making some space for me. Because, even though my stones are basically connected, they're not exactly alive. It would be nice to make an extension. And if I could scare you into playing another move there to live in Sente, in Sente for me, then
Yeah.
that would be nice. I
Like
wonder
to say
what the
living in Sente is worse than death.
what's that?
Living in Gote rather is worse than death.
Sometimes.
Mm. I know how much it applies at 20 key, but perhaps at 9 dom.
Yeah. For some
Mm.
reason, J17 feels like just
Yeah.
like my intuition makes that it seem like a better shape, but H17 is what I'm gonna play.
Mm.
I don't know. I can't describe the feeling that I have about J17. It feels better, but
Yeah, it's the vibes, you know.
yeah, it's the vibes.
Now G16 is way too slow, right? Something like
Well, I'm not
mm,
sure. Um,
or H16 maybe.
H16,
Mm,
maybe that.
I don't like. Yeah, but then I feel like.
I don't
Mm,
think I can cut. Like, if well,
well,
can I
the way I play, you can cut, but
cut?
in general,
I don't know. G16 is kind of nice. You can also make a table at F15, and
15.
that also like is hard connected to G14. Um, so that's
Just
kind of
give up
nice.
these.
Gooplet just pops in chat.
Somebody said table.
It's on the table. How?
Sprints to his computer, falls over, bangs his head on the desk. Somebody say table.
That's exactly what happened. But we have to be careful. Um, I'm wondering if there's a way to pressure the corner for you to live as well.
Yeah. Because my instincts say G16 gives up kind of this like J16, K16 kind of area, right?
Mm,
I don't think it's really guaranteed points. But if I play H16, I'm risking that kind of messy little fight in the kind of the F16 area.
mm,
But then if it actually works for you, I just instinctively am scared of it.
yeah.
Fuck it, let's learn.
Yeah.
It's good
Hey,
to
why
gain
not, right?
practice. Yeah.
Um, so I will just I will play peacefully. So, one thing I am like briefly enticed to try is G17.
Mm.
And then so let's say you go back and connect. I don't think I can cut because my 2 stones are feeling real bad. I think if you Hane but maybe I can go back and Sente, and then you connect. Would it even be Sente? Would you even care about that cut? Because you could just Atari. No, you wouldn't even care about
Yeah.
that cut. So
We
it
could just
wouldn't be.
force him to two stands. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's more Sente if I can just Hane here or J17. I think Hane feels better for some reason. Just Hane.
No, I have to stand, don't I? Or I could. No, it doesn't really quite work with the double line either at a J15 because then you could Atari G16.
Well, so something we need to consider here is, can black live locally, or does black need to run? Because if if you need to run, we need to be thinking about strong escape moves. And I'm not super sure. So let's see. I don't think you can do anything like. I'm just wondering about like C16. Does that just help white fix shape, or is that somehow threatening where you could then get C18 later? The feeling I have is that you need to run.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing like maybe an I, as it
Right.
is. So the run move would be H15, wouldn't it? Right? Or would it be like just H15?
Let's see. A guy in chat said he has a suggestion. Oh, also Michael Chris said F16 plus E18, and they're just alive. Oh, F16. Oh, that's fancy. I don't know about that
E18.
stuff. Hey, thank you for the follow, Sam TV. What's that? Whoa, what is that one, Gooplet? Is it a Rudolph nerd? All right, guy in chat says H18, J18, G17, Tanuki. Black should be fine. H18. Oh. Yeah, see, these things I don't think about.
Yeah,
J18.
I would never think of
that. Look at all the, like, nice emotes, Gooplet. That's a good use of your channel points. And then G17. Yeah, that does seem nice.
It's not a move I would play. I want to play a move I would actually think of. See, I think
Sure.
if I was F16, I think I would actually play, but I'm not confident I could actually live with it. So I'm gonna do the running blind, which would be H15,
right? Sure. That is running. Yep.
Try it.
Okay, so let's see here. What would I think about doing here? I guess I like F15. It feels like it pokes some eye shape somehow. But it's also a little bit scary. I kind of don't like it. Probably just Tanuki. I think Tanuki is what I do here. Maybe I could go up one more at F12 to be a little bit scary, but I'm thinking now I should play something like on the bottom, like O13, something like that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at this kind of bottom right side. It looks really big. Oh. I was actually thinking of 3-3 next. That's quite useful for you.
Yeah.
It still lives in. It'd be a co, though, wouldn't it? If I invaded.
I think it should be a co. I don't always know how everything affects everything, but in general, 4/4 with a knight's move, it's a co, and I don't think the other knight's move helps me, and I don't think R10 helps you. I think it's too far away. So
yeah, and I have a vague concept of how co's work, but it's at best vague. It's like here. This is when I just start playing moves like in this kind of like 07 kind of vague area. So I'm thinking, okay, I see territory there. I want to poke it out.
I think something fun you could consider would be like maybe M5, or maybe M6.
Yeah, I was looking at M7 actually.
M7 feels a little bit cowardly to me,
Which is my style.
Yeah. So one rule of thumb is like if you see a big gap in territory, you can draw a line from the stones that make the border. So let's
Yeah,
let's say like H6 and R6, and then
yeah.
so that
Play it
means
on that line, right?
yeah.
Not pass.
But the shape is weird enough that I would even consider going one deeper, but maybe that's a mistake. I'm not sure.
'Cause, I mean, I could like kind of visualize like Q4 or 03 is the other point of it, but doesn't feel. I'm gonna do the vaguely cowardly move.
Yeah, no, I
Somewhat
like it.
cowardly.
I think it puts White in a weird position, because like I can't try to like swallow that stone, right? I can't just like wrap around it and kill it. Um, but if I don't know, like something like L4, it just feels so meek, like
Yeah.
I had all this potential and now
Yeah. There it goes.
I just have to be flattened. Um, but that might
Tango.
be what I play. Um,
Tango's in.
maybe we could consider like a counterattack where both of us just threaten to invade each other's stuff. But I think I don't have like a good enough
Yeah, I think I'd
threat.
win that out
Yeah.
because I mean, as it is, that kind of like what you think. I'm guessing you're thinking of like P8 ish.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
to me it feels like that was never territory,
Mm.
and if I were allowed to play like L4, I'm cutting out huge chunks of what should have been yours.
Mm.
Do I want to reduce her?
Iro Yori, thank you for the follow. You're officially a nerd.
But as like M4 be okay? Just kind of keep poking in, or that are like no, because K5 is way too easy to cut. Yeah, or be cowardly again. Hmm.
I'm sorry, I was reading chat. What were you considering?
So my first thought was K5, or which just seemed way too easy to cut. And then something M4
Um,
also seems kind of
yeah, I mean, I think those could both be doable. Um, I'm wondering if you could also just be happy that that extension sort of happened, and then I don't know something like
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 oh
Q8,
07.
or maybe Q7. I don't know. Just to really solidify that part of the board that you've got up there.
Yeah, which I think Q8's bigger, isn't it? Or yeah,
Not sure. It's a
neither
weird
am I.
spot to me.
Try
I'm
to
confused on this kind of board state.
it's really weird, isn't it?
It's probably very common. It's probably
Oh
not
yeah,
weird at all. I'm just having a hard time with it.
but for someone like me, it's strange because it's actually decent play, semi decent, we'll say. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go the what's something like oh
Oh,
07.
guy in chat says N3 is wide open, which is just wild to me.
Is it? Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna act like I know how that's open. I'm not even gonna pretend.
I mean, we can
It's
try it. We can just play it out
yeah,
and see what
yeah.
happens. But
See what happens.
okay, sure.
I want to see how this goes.
All right. So I don't want you running back to that stone. So
Yeah. So
I'm gonna block, and then I guess you get M3 for free.
yeah. So I get the. Oh, okay. I think I see how this is kind of open. So I can just do another one at L3, right? And then you hon A, and then
I don't think you want to do L3. I th-
I
I th-
don't.
I
I
could
mean,
be wrong. I think if I Hane,
K2, or should I just respond to like O2? O2 is really slow. I
well,
don't like that.
O2 might be good. Yeah, guy in chat likes O2. Um, because if you do O2,
Yeah.
I cannot do P2, right?
Yeah. You have to connect to is it O4?
Um,
And I can extend again.
well, I probably wouldn't connect at O4. I think I would at least P3. Although I could also consider P2, and we could do something similar to the Joseki we did in the bottom left, right? If I did P2, let's see, if you cut and I fix and you Atari and then I Atari, you could get a Panuki and take the corner, and then I could keep the side. We could do something like that.
Yeah. Because my goal in the invasion was trying to cut off like, pardon me, this kind of left side, but I think I'm being way too greedy by trying to do that. I think at least up to like K, the K line, that's yours.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll try that kind of.
So now I have to think. Well, so if I play like p3, I think your next move would it. I don't think l3 for some reason. I think k2, like a kind of knight's move.
Yeah, I was looking at K2 initially.
And then
Then I saw that.
I feel like I'm real unhappy about that if that happens. Um, guy in chat likes the. Oh, never mind. You said yes, BG. The knight's move is next. I thought you meant do a big knight's move, and I was like, I don't know, maybe. Let's see. Let's read what Guy has to say. If white trades the corner, black is happy. Your goal should be to get whatever you can. Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. So you were mentioning your goal in the invasion. I think if you get anything, yeah, anything is good, and that's sort of like the principle of Sabaki in general. Not to say that what we've played so far is Sabaki, but in general with like a Sabaki kind of invasion strategy, you're spreading your stones out with the idea that you'll lose some, but as long as something lives, then you're good. You've profited. And you also just want to be careful that you're not giving me too much by invading. So let's say you take the corner, but I get some strong influence. If that influence were really harmful to you, then maybe that's not worth it. But it doesn't seem too bad, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to give you the corner.
In the corner? And alright. Do this Fungiseki.
Okay, and then I have to do this. All right.
And then I want some like R3 or R4.
You can probably just Tanuki, right? But I could be wrong. Maybe like Q3 is dangerous. So I mean, R3 is profitable for sure. I don't know if it's necessary, but
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think I just can Tanuki here, can't I?
Guy says it's scary. So
I think it's scary in the right hands. That's the.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still looking at like Q8 or Q7. Oh yeah, just kind of this like small knights move and get some extra dosh up there, but then this group on top is obviously unsettled too.
Yeah. L4O said Tanuki win Panuki. New proverb.
I like that one.
Okay, yeah. So Guy's saying it gives too many forcing moves. So even if black does live, it's really painful. So maybe it is worth it to just play R3 now and then.
Yeah. I feel like I should be playing moves I think of at first in this game to make it more productive.
So I don't know as white what to do about the top right, or if there's anything I even can do.
Hello.
Hey, who's this? Is that Guy?
Hello. Guy in the chat.
Hey, what's up, Guy?
I don't want to interrupt too much, but can I make a suggestion for who's the black player here? Reverse?
Yeah.
Okay, reverse. Don't be too worried about taking suggested moves. I mean, obviously don't take all of them from Beginner Go or myself or anyone in the chat. But the important thing here is to go back after the game and review N3 and the sequence that followed. So a move that maybe you don't see, it's sort of like, have you ever taken a writing class? And like you have writer's block, or if you had to write about something, and a teacher would like give you the first sentence, right? So that's obviously this invasion is not something that you would think of.
Sadakatsu, hey, thank you for the raid.
And then play a couple of variations after the game. Like, well, what would I have done if white had extended at P3 and not traded the corner? Then I would have had to turn to the other side, or right, so that the move makes sense.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give any more help this game. But it was getting a little one-sided. If black had reduced lightly, white was going to be up by 20-ish points after that bottom area was settled. So we had to invade.
Okay. So everyone gets one, right?
Yeah. So that was my helping move. But when it's a move you hadn't seen, go back and review it after the game, because that's a way to learn from the sequence.
Cool. Thanks, Guy. And Guy, please feel free to interject anytime. Yeah. Always enjoy your commentary. Well, now I want help as white.
Yeah.
I feel, and like, this could be one of those scenarios where I'm just not like counting very well. I feel as white, I feel real behind right now because the top right just looks enormous.
Really?
And
I feel behind as black.
yeah, see, that's fun. It could
'Cause
could be.
I think this group in the top left is gonna die. I know it's okay right now, but given my history, I think it might be dead.
Well, okay, if that dies, then I'm good for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's alive. And so I'm curious now, like, what is big? So okay, let's go through like some thoughts, right? So first, do I have any groups that are weak and really need attention? Arguably, my little Kama at R5 is like, cuttable somehow, but I'm not that worried about it. I don't think anything else is really in danger. I have some awkward Aji, like you could play K3 for free, you could play like E2 for free. I say for free. I mean, I don't know. There's some stuff down there, but not that bad. My top feels okay. I feel like I've got enough breathing room on the third line toward the L18 area. I feel like my left side is a smattering of stones that will somehow find eyes. I don't necessarily see the eyes, but they feel okay-ish. So I don't think I have anything that I need to pay attention to. So the next thing would be, is there anything of yours that I can attack? I feel like I can probably attack the top left side.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see a lot of profit in doing so, but maybe like D18 would be nice. Maybe that helps to unsettle the black group and to settle my own group simultaneously. So maybe that feels nice. And then the other question would be, are there big moves? Because I D18 somehow doesn't feel Sente, but maybe it is. I could think about maybe, I don't know, B12 as like a settling move that sort of threatens to take some territory of yours on the bottom, but I don't think you really care that much about that.
No.
You could think about bending at H7, that's still there, turning or whatever. You could think about jumping out, maybe something like P8. Yeah, G17 is Sente. Yeah, I was looking at that one too, and that does feel nice to get like an extension there, because if black gets that, then the cut is dangerous.
Yeah, I was actually really worried about G17 when that whole discussion was happening.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess let's do it. If Guy says it. So then, what does black?
I'm torn between, because then F16 feels like safer because there's no cut there, but is there even a cut? No, there is no cut there anyway. And it's just that shitty empty triangle.
Yeah, what's the best thing to do here? The empty triangle at G16 is an empty triangle. That's true.
Yeah.
But it does protect the cut. I don't think I can cut there, right?
Yeah.
Because you just Atari, run, kill. But it feels like there should be something better to do. Maybe a table, or maybe what happens if you bamboo? If I push, and you go up, and then if I push again, now you have 2 cutting points, which would suck.
Yeah.
But if you did a table...
Table being what, F15?
Yeah, F15. So if I push, if you connect G6, G15, and then if I push through there, there's still a cut. I don't know. What do you fix here?
I like F15.
Okay. And in all of these variations, we can consider letting go of those 2 black stones if need be. Like if it were between, like if you could run and live and sacrifice those 2, that would be okay.
Yeah.
Michael Chris liked the empty triangle. I guess because of it puts a lot of pressure on the cut at J17, which is fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I would poke at the Aji.
And then I would definitely want to do actually, so I want to, because that's technically a peep, isn't it? Right? It's double peep.
Yeah, it sort of is. So this is a little bit painful
Yeah.
for black.
I guess I want F16.
We should make a compilation of like when empty triangles are the right move, and just see if like we can, if by playing those in succession, we can intuit something
Yeah.
about it.
Because I feel like at this point I should just sacrifice the stones at D17 and just run.
At D17, oh, that feels really big. I don't know. Okay, well let's think about like, okay, if you play F16, right, then I get to push at G15. That's also painful for me, right, because I'm down to 3 liberties there and 3 liberties there. But like, let's say you just fix the cut at that time, and then I cut and kill your 2 stones at H15. Then you can run. You can do like a 1 space jump to G12. So do you see at least that's, I'm not saying this is the optimal sequence, but so can you see like F16 bamboo, right?
Yeah.
Then let's say G15 threatens 2 cuts. Let's say black fixes the F14 cut.
Mm-hmm.
White takes the other one at H14. And then let's say black makes a 1 space jump at F12. And that 1 space jump cannot be disconnected because it's a 1 space jump from 2.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's a Kosumi on the other one. So I think it's just hard connected. I don't think there's a way white could disconnect. So at least that is one way those black stones could run to a safe group.
Yeah, I mean that's vaguely the idea I was having with F16. Not exactly that variation, because I wasn't actually reading, but
sure.
Yeah.
Well, partly I am trying to get better at reading. Like I have for so long, I've had the attitude where I'm just like, well, I'm bad at reading, so I'll just try to avoid it.
Yeah, I have that habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Kageyama's book has just been roasting me. Like he's like, why do you even play Go? It's like such people with like people with such an attitude are trash. He doesn't use that word, but and I'm like, you know what? Fine. People do learn to read, and I'm not such an old curmudgeon that I literally cannot learn it. So I've been trying to do it a little bit more.
I've got the advantage of youth. And then what I would want to do F13, wouldn't I?
Well, now that we're here,
first,
so okay, the variation we looked at was F14.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just played it. I was gonna say we could at least try to think of some things here, but okay, so I will take those stones. And my group on the left side is starting to feel a little weaker now, or a lot weaker. And maybe it's killable now because you have so much strength on the outside. I'm not sure.
And F12, right?
Guy said, if you can't find it within yourself to read out the whole ladder, you should just stop playing Go. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, ladder feels okay, right? So then I want F12, right? Just to...
So F12 would be... Oh, actually, I don't know why I said F12. You can also... I mean, I don't know why I said G12. Yeah, F12 seems just as good, or better, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that seems fine. I guess I don't know if there would be value in taking H13 first for black.
My instinct said that, but it didn't seem...
I mean, I don't feel compelled to play it now as white, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of big, but not... Does it... If I played here... No. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I am starting to really feel worried. It's a vague worry. It's not a worry that I'm reading out, but I just feel very worried about the left side right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to imagine doing something to help over there. I think B12 is the move I'm going to do. It feels kind of weird, I guess, but I think I like it. That's what we're going to do.
I feel like I don't even need to respond to that. I feel like I can just turn at C12.
Yeah, you can poke through at C12 and I can block, and then if you play B11, then that's you're threatening to kill B12.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I don't know that I would necessarily respond to it by saving it, because it would be Gote for you to kill that. But it could be kind of a nice way to protect that territory. But if it's Gote, is it worth it? I feel like Black can find other things to do with Sente right now than do like a poke and block. Yeah.
It seems silly. D14. I was just looking at it, so I feel like I can. No. No, definitely not right. Because then you just do D15. Yeah.
Michael Chris, threatening to kill is nice. I don't even remember saying that. I don't know what the context is. Murder threats are fun.
Oh yeah, I get. Can I wedge at E13?
Wedge at E.
Is that even a wedge? Yeah, it is a wedge, right?
E13, yeah, that would be a wedge. I mean,
it's Goto, isn't it? That's the thing.
Well, I don't know. If you did that, and let's say I Atari, it pokes out eye space, but I feel like I can still manage eyes on the left side somewhere, so probably it is Gote.
Yeah.
But it's Sente if it threatens to kill. I don't know. So the line is just on whether it threatens to kill that group or not.
Because what I was thinking is E13, Atari, Connect, and then E12. C12 rather.
C12.
Then the other poke we were talking about.
I think actually I would care even less about C12 after that exchange. Let me show it on stream.
There's no other in there, is there? Yeah, never mind. I don't know why I thought there was an I at D13.
Yeah. So I don't know. So there's still stuff like Q8, I guess. That feels like a weird shape to me though.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe there's some value in playing K6 to sort of threaten to, dig into White's territory further.
I like K6.
Well, let me be careful though. I don't want to tell you that's a good move, and then I go, actually, I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah.
So K6 threatens something like, I don't know, J5, and that would be painful. So I probably would respond. I think if you played K6, I would yield.
Yeah.
I might threaten to cut off those stones first somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like N8. I don't know.
No, I still like H7. I've been staring at it the whole game, but I don't know how big it is. It feels bigger now that I have the stone at M6 because you won't run as far.
Yeah, I still think if you play H7, I think then I'll just jump to K6, and
yeah.
I think I feel pretty good about that.
Let's try K6. Let's see what happens.
All right. So here's where Black loses the game. You fell into my trap. No, I'm just kidding. So it just feels so gross to play J5. I feel like I shouldn't play that. Is there any way I can threaten to kill these? I don't think so. I think anything I could consider to kill them is not scary. I think I should just protect my territory, but ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Gross defense.
Gross defense. Yeah, it is. It's gross.
It's the Arsenal Football Club last year. Sports reference in a Go stream. That's an interesting one.
for
yeah, for this community, right? Now then, do I even need to respond to that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So.
Because now something like 07 feels much stronger, or even like a Tengen, I guess. Try and jump out, get myself this little sliver in the center.
Yeah, maybe so. In general, slivers are not ideal territories, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I wonder, maybe something like maybe you could, if you wanted to play over there, maybe start with like K12 because I think that threatens to break my net.
Yeah.
So maybe K12 first and then L10. Maybe that builds a nice little bubble of territory.
Because L10 by itself just feels slow.
Yeah, it does to me, or even or Tengen, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Because my instincts always say is if I'm attaching to my own stone when it's not like under direct threat, I'm just getting a move pretty much.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I remember you. Shunya.0. Shunya.0? Yo, good to see you. Don't forget there's a cut at N10. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do with that cut. But now is not the time to play it. So now, I think I should. I don't think, for some reason, I think I shouldn't capture. I should bamboo, but I guess that leaves Aji. I don't know. For some reason, that feels better, so I'm going to do that. Nice. Oh, this is your first time watching a Go stream. Okay, so I guess I don't remember you. Welcome. Are you a seasoned Go player, Shunya? Oh, by the way, in case for you or anyone else who might be new, let me just slap that. The Discord is way more active than the stream. The stream is like a small part of the beginner Go community. So check out the Discord. That's where we're popping. Oh, you're not a seasoned Go. Well, welcome. We're trying to keep it at sort of a beginner level as we're talking about the game, but it's starting to get to kind of a complicated mid-game sort of thing, so it might be a little bit difficult.
See, this feels like I feel like 3/4 of the moves I'm playing are moves that I would actually play.
Sure.
Now,
yeah, it's a pretty good chunk of the group. 34 of us in here for sure. You just started exploring Go. Awesome. Yeah. What brought you to it? I always love hearing how people get into Go. It was fun hearing like in the introduction section on the Discord. A few people, we were all sort of, I don't know what to say.
Should I Atari here or should I? Because I'm debating between like M8 or O10.
I think I would just play O10 immediately, but I can't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. Because I don't see you could kill anything like standing out there.
Yeah.
Just do strings of cuts, right?
And I sort of don't expect these two stones to live. Maybe they will, but I'm wondering if...
Good chance they will, given it's me.
Maybe there's just something threatening I can do with them. Like, I think if I just continue crawling out and then you play, like, I don't know, 07, then I think they just die. I'm not sure. Let's see, if you played 07, is there anything with the wedge I could do over here? I'm thinking about the wedge at L6. It leaves a cut. There's not much I can do there. But I'm just wondering if I can use those at all. I mostly just played it because Michael Chris was like, hey, don't forget about that cut. Oh, there's so much going on in chat. I might just have to let y'all discuss in chat for a while.
Do you mind if I run to the bathroom very quickly?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let them talk, right?
Hikaru no Go is responsible for a whole generation. That helped me a lot. So that's not how I started playing Go, but when my friend Kyle challenged me to Go to start learning it, and we started learning it together, we also started watching Hikaru, and I do think that helped like motivate us. Now is when you unpause. Alforo, nice. By the way, for those of you who don't know, boom, there we go. The command works. Alforo just started streaming himself. I didn't get to check out your stream tonight. Why did you play it if you didn't read it out? Because you said to. We're just having a fun discussion game here, right? So I don't mind. I like the idea of cutting just for the sake of cutting and for the potential of breaking some groups up. And what's the proverb? It was like it was a goofy proverb, right? It was like, don't think before cutting, or no, what was it? It was like think first and then cut anyway. I don't know, something like that.
It's my any percent bathroom speedrun attempt.
Nice. I guess we should probably just speed up our play, or we can just finish the game. I mean, we don't have to go through endgame. You know, it's been interesting enough as is.
Unpause it and then we'll play from there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's just play. That sounds fun.
I think we have been playing for
game resumed.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let me just do. A little. I feel like I should turn here. I don't want. Is there any threat that you can get this?
I was reading the turn. That was what I was expecting to happen.
Hmm.
Oh no, not turn. I was just jeez, yeah. I was
Which turn were you thinking?
M9 definitely. I don't think we've done anything.
Oh, interesting.
Definitely wasn't the right move, was it? In hindsight, I should have.
Did you manage to pull off the hand drawing skip? Was this glitchless or glitched?
Glitch. I can't cut that, can I?
I don't know. It's interesting.
Fuck it, let's see what happens. Speed.
Um,
What I'm guessing you would do what? K7 connect. Oh, in hindsight. I think the knave actually just killed these. No, it hasn't.
This is speaking to me for some reason.
This is.
Let's do this one. What is your rating, if you can know with no offense, please? Yeah, sure. I'm not super sure. One of these days I'm going to start laddering, and then I can stop saying I don't know. I'm some flavor of single digit Q. I have a 1 Don account on KGS, but that's because I beat 2 bots and then didn't do anything else. You know, so I don't know. I suspect on OGS I'm somewhere around a 5K level, but I don't know. I feel bad about even claiming that because maybe I'm not.
08 here feels like a waste. Because I don't think this kind of like that kind of area around Q7 is going to be territory anyway. I don't think I can.
Yeah, so I'm trying to cobble together something here, you know, by sort of rotating my threats. Like, oh hey, maybe these 3 stones will escape. Now maybe I'll Atari over at K7 and then threaten to save them at over here.
Yeah, because I don't like it, but I don't know what else I could do. It's gonna be like, it's empty triangle, it's gross, and then that's a cut. I think these 3 stones are gonna die. Well, that they probably have, yeah. Or I could.
Tengen is on which square? So Tengen is the center point on the board. So before I played here, it was this one. And on a 19 by 19, that's always K10, but Tengen always refers to the center of a square board. So even if you're on a 9 by 9, like E5 would be Tengen.
So N7 would just lead to O7, which would then lead to this group dying still. Right?
I'm not sure.
Mm.
I mean, the push at L11 is interesting as well. Like I can't do L12 because it would be self Atari.
Mm.
And so then I guess you could connect. Right, so that's self Atari. I can't do that, and I don't have to do anything right now either, though, right? Because let's see, if you push here, I can connect, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to see if we can cobble something together. Let's do one more of these.
See, now I'm regretting it. I think I should let these stones die.
Beginner Go is trying to kill all the white stones in this area. Oh, Lord.
Because, what? My instinct is saying N6, which would just lead to... that. I would even... Damn, I wish I could read. Right. Because 06 would just leave way too many RG. Yeah, like that. Like
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, I will be satisfied with that. Okay, so I saved those stones, but was it really profitable? I don't know. Black seems like Black got a lot of strength on the right side.
Yeah. No, we can just...
And I don't really have a lot of potential to cut things off. Some.
Now I want to connect to L12, because now I'm thinking these 3 stones are not happy.
L12.
12.
Well, I can't disconnect you there, right?
Oh yeah, obviously, because it's Atari.
Yeah.
So I can ignore that and do something like... J8 or J9. Or J9. Was that? I can't fucking read the coordinates. There we go.
How long is the queue to play against Beginner Go? It's long tonight because we spent the first 40 minutes
just like talking through every single move.
Well, okay, yeah, the first 40 minutes of this game. I just meant the first 40 minutes of the stream with this hype train that was going on. I am unfamiliar with hype trains.
Here I was considering this Atari instead, but I guess I still could, but it doesn't seem like it. I guess it's forcing, isn't it?
Boy Wonder's still here. Boy Wonder is the conductor of the hype train, or the some kind of royalty. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel bad for forcing Broken Focus to...
Yeah, Broken Focus.
It's really not a big deal.
Okay.
You sure? All right.
I've enjoyed watching this.
By the way, I meant for you to jump in Discord so you could join the conversation with us. Although I guess if that had happened, we would be even less far through the game. So I don't know. Maybe that's not good. I feel like I can just save these stones, right?
Yeah.
Seems okay.
I guess I could have... Yeah.
If for the beginners who are in chat, I'm sorry, I've lost your name now. Sarakatsu? No, not Sarakatsu. Where are you? Shenya.0? Shenya.0? Feel free if you've got some questions, even if you're like, that's probably stupid, everyone knows this. Feel free, drop those questions. Maybe you are not sure though. Okay, are you just like really strong and you're just messing with us? Yeah. That happens too. Like Street Play will come in chat, right? And I'd be like, I'll be like, Street Play, are you very strong? He's like, no, I barely know the rules. Listen, you little shit.
No, I want to do something like R7 here, or maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is anyone in chat, or did any of y'all find this channel because of the Adopt a DDK video? Yeah, guy knows the rules. That video was every bit a hit as I hoped it would be. Oh, actually, now that you do that, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Because now that the cut at Q5 is a bit
Oh.
worse.
Boy Wonder, you hadn't seen it before. Let me link the actual video. So the one that I showed tonight was not the one that I actually released onto the world. Okay, gonna have to deal with that cut.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is the one.
That was a cut. I like
Got
that
9
cut.
seconds left in main times. Now we're getting into the when I play the worst moves you can possibly imagine. Self-Ataris are banned.
All right. Connect L3, cut L12. Listen. Okay, so if we do this one, and let's see, if we just Atari. Atari feels okay. I can lose that one stone.
Yeah.
Guy in the chat cheered 10. You hadn't seen it yet. You love it. Oh, good.
Wait, did I miss? Okay. I suddenly thought I misread that. Oh, jeez. I do see that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I had to give up that stone, and I owe you a move now, but that's okay. It's not too bad, I think. So we'll just do that. Seems okay. Watching that video is like looking in a mirror. Yeah, I hope that it's funny enough, or like lighthearted enough that as a DDK you don't feel any offense, right? I mean, and of course I got permission from Bridge and from Shmooly and from Shark Fox Panda to use those clips.
No, I'm just playing any forcing move I see because I'm not. I want to do something in like the Q8 area, kind of just give myself that chunk, but I don't know what I should be doing there.
For some
All I know is
reason,
that I shouldn't be doing P7.
you're gonna go cry yourself to sleep.
Okay,
Yoyomi.
vaguely annoying. I don't.
The art in the review. The art in the review? I'm not sure. Alistair, DDK is double digit Q. It's just like an abbreviation for really 10Q plus. Yeah. Nice one, Boy Wonder. Oh, check the variations for fantastic art. Okay.
Fuck it. That seems okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah. Let's just
It is Goto, though, isn't it?
that one.
No, I'm tempted to Hane, but I feel like the cut at C10 is scary.
It feels a little scary, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does.
Because the push at E11 in combination with the things going, like if you had E11, I think the Hane feels fine.
And then Hane, I think. Oh jeez. You can fucking have it.
All the reduction.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that reduction though. Can I reduce that?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Can I reduce that? Yay! End game.
This is why this is when I'm playing as a bot. I just press undo a lot. 'Cause I'm like, oh shit. That way.
Now let's see. If I tried to do that end game at T10 and I left a little stick here, is it dead? I think it's dead.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful with that. Okay.
All right.
And I got to be careful with this one too.
Yeah. That's one of those mistakes you only make once. You make them once and you're oh fuck, and then you just never do it again. It's lovely.
Oh, was monkey jump better on the left? Maybe so.
10, 9.
I haven't quite
8,
reached the level in OGS
7,
when everyone and their mum is
6.
monkey jumping, thankfully.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not yet. I don't like that.
You think you're within 100 games of being single-digit Q. So you're practically 9-don. Nice. Oh, sorry, did someone ask for the website? Yeah, we're using onlinego.com. By the way, I think get started is a command. Yeah, hey, there you go. Learngo.net is a really good place to start learning the game if you're not familiar. Also,
I don't like that.
I have some YouTube tutorials for beginners, which you might find useful. Who knows? That seems free. And what else? What else? Just trying to wrap up the game. Okay, so if we do this. But what if this? No, wait. This.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh, let's just see. We'll just do it. So before I said I think this dies, but I'm not sure.
So certain.
Yeah.
Because I have to fix the night S10, S11 rather.
Yeah, the question is like, can you not do it? But yeah, I think you do have to fix that.
Yeah. That was wasted.
Yeah, I mean it's not nothing. It's not a pass.
Terrible, but yeah.
You know, but
Could be better.
let's just take the corner. That seems like points. S7 for black. Someone,
S7 or something. S7. Oh. Nope, I don't see it. What, you just fix and then what? Oh, no, I don't see it.
yeah,
Nope.
that's nice. Yeah,
I'm
hit
like,
it.
I have no idea what it is.
You'll see it. Yeah, just click
Alright,
it.
yeah,
Okay, so
we'll
now
see.
I need to fix here.
Oh, I think I see it.
Yeah, see, so now you win the
Okay,
capture
there we go.
race.
Yeah,
Mhm,
okay.
Very nice. Thanks a lot, Michael Chris.
I thought about
Get
that
out of the
one,
chat. Get out. You're not welcome here.
He's just begging, please. This is all the good players in the chat like ripping their hair out at me just playing Goten moves over
10.
and over.
Yeah.
9, 8, 7.
Okay. I have to do that now, don't I?
Okay.
You know, if I lose by within 50, I'll be proud of myself.
We'll just wrap the game up. I need to have a fundraising campaign to buy the rights to the Bee Gees song "Staying Alive," so that way we can play it on stream.
Yeah.
Dropping in for the lurk. Hey, what's up, Jackie Scam? Good to see you. Is there anything meaningful left?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Because now I have to connect and you can. Yeah.
I mean, it's not much, right? It's,
Yeah,
just,
but it's,
just some pokey pokes. Pokey poke. I mean, I guess you'll respond to that. I don't know. Is there anything meaningful about attaching at 017? I mean, if I connected 017. Ooh, the counter poke.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it's good.
No, I have Sente technically. Technically, what does that mean?
Any move is. You have Sente
Yeah.
anytime if you have the right attitude about it.
3/3 is Sente if you're correct.
Sente is a lifestyle. Michael Chris saw like a way to kill something or something. I don't know. Listen, Michael.
I can ignore that.
We're just trying to finish the game. Sente, yeah, Shanyadat. We talked about it in last week's Saturday Go lesson, which will be on YouTube soon. But Sente is, we use it in a few different ways. If you have Sente, it means that you have the ability to do whatever you want on the board. There's nothing so urgent that it demands your attention. We can also talk about a sequence, which is Sente, which is to say you play the sequence, and at the end of the sequence, you have the ability to do whatever you want on the board because nothing in that local sequence is demanding of your attention. The opposite of that is Gote. Gote would mean like we play a sequence, like I start a sequence, and then at the end of it, it's your turn. So that would be Gote for me. I took Gote.
10, 9,
Here,
8,
Michael, Chris, I got one for
7,
you. I think I
6,
need to make 2
5.
eyes.
4.
I don't need to make 2 eyes there.
Yeah, that did seem like okay. Thanks.
That was just for Michael.
that is one of the moves you'd see at the level I play at. Like,
Yeah,
like
sure.
that poke that I made at K13, that would have led to those stones dying in my level.
You know, it'd be really funny though if like the left side was about to die and A18 did actually just save it.
Yeah, right.
Like that's totally something I could do. Oh man. Okay, where's some more small end game? How about that one?
Now,
Yeah, Sente and Tempo, those feel similar.
yeah, I think Tempo is a chess equivalent of Sento.
Initiative
Yeah.
feels good. I like that as a
Yeah,
description.
I've always like, yeah. I feel like Sento is one of those terms that we could actually translate just as initiative.
Yeah, like just a literal translation. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. No. Something thought that group was in trouble.
I'll just block here.
I don't need to respond to that, do I?
I'm gonna try a psychological trick play here pretty soon.
Ooh.
But the key first is to play some distracting moves around the board, like this one. Oh no, I'm poking into your territory.
Because to me, A5 feels bigger than that. Because that's 2 points, and that's... Yeah. I think.
Okay. All right, more deception. Atari.
Hold on. If I connect there, that's... Oh, my computer's having a fit. I think Chrome just crashed.
What just happened? Oh, your Chrome?
Yeah. Let's hope I don't time out.
It was such a savage move. Hey, Creakers. Okay, that was the trick play. Just to see if I could get you to connect the Atari. All right, you passed. You passed the test. I think eventually I need to kill these, so I'll just go ahead and kill them.
10, 9,
Simplifies things over there. Sente before Gote. Are there antics over here? So if we do this, if you go there, and we go here, it seems fine. Right? So if you Atari here, that's no big deal. We just kill. Okay. Poke. Well, now you've fallen into my trap. Since you didn't take
10.
there, I'll take there. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Bad shape on top. You're talking about this? I feel like it's not fair to criticize shape in endgame, because when you're just like filling out all the dame and like the little 1-point things, you just get clusters of stones all over the place. All right, is that about it? I think I need to force you to take those 2 stones. Oh, I guess I can take a point over here at E13. Can O11 be good for it?
Terrifying.
There's potential antics at O11, but I don't think I see anything substantial.
Because my computer's hard blue screened, which is
Oh shit!
frightening.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm currently doing Discord on my phone. OBS on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. But you know what? It'll be fun. No, it won't. Never mind. If I'm playing Shark Fox Panda, I do cuts like this all the time that shouldn't work, just because I want him to like practice killing silly
9,
things like that.
8, 7, 6.
Boop. Blue screen Suji.
Yeah, right.
The G white group is bad. It's ugly for sure.
This seems like pennies. Better than half pennies, I suppose. I think that's it, right?
I think so.
Let's see if I can find the pass button. There we are.
Pass. Remove the dead
GG.
stones.
Where's the score? There we go. I lost by what, 20?
Yeah.
This is not a very clear.
You have won.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of fucking.
That was it was very interesting. Okay, cool. So let's look at the score right here. It was even. Like move
I gotta
107.
switch to the